Artifax creates software that helps venues run more efficiently. And I'm talking to the company's director, Tim Coleman, about what the software actually does and how it can benefit events and meetings organisers. Tim Coleman, you're from Artifax. We're here today to discuss all about venue management software. First of all, for those people who don't know, what's it all about? What does it actually do for a venue?
It's quite easy to sort of illustrate if you use Outlook, because it's effectively a calendar, but with lots of extra functionality. If you imagine an Outlook calendar but with your rooms down one side and dates across the top, you start to build up a picture of your venue and what's on. So first and foremost, it kind of replaces those spreadsheets that everybody uses. And then the things you can't do with spreadsheets, functionality to manage things like resource bookings, availability of staff, avoiding double bookings, other functions, staff management, staff scheduling, visitor management, a whole host of features designed for venues and anyone who organises events.
So essentially that streamlines the whole process. Drilling down a little bit further, what does that actually mean for the event organiser, the meetings organiser who's going to be using the facilities or a venue that actually has that kind of software installed?
I think first and foremost, if you approach it from the venue's angle, they know everything they need to know about the meeting organiser. The information's at their fingertips. They're not having to go through filing cabinets and Word documents and spreadsheets. It's all there. Simple search functions will lead them to all the information they know about that organisation or person, and perhaps more importantly, previous bookings. So as a meeting organiser, you could approach the venue and say, I'd like to book something very similar to what I had last year, and there it is. And in fact, functionality in the software will allow the venue to copy last year's booking to this year and build it from there.
And I suppose also there's always a bit of an issue, particularly with busy venues, that a client will come, an organiser will come and find they've been double booked, or there's been some sort of a clash, and I guess the venue management software helps overcome that problem too.
It certainly does. It shouldn't be possible. There's always operator error, but generally it does avoid those kind of occurrences. But in an ideal world, people make mistakes, and if there is a mistake and someone turns up for a meeting, finds the room's already booked for whatever reason, the software will help you very quickly relocate to another available space.
With respect to going back again to to the importance of customer service, what it's doing really is it's creating a better sort of customer experience. So from that perspective, it can act as a bit of a sales driver, can't it?
It certainly can, yeah. The historical data is key to this. And again, something it's hard to do from sort of paper and sort of Excel-based systems. You can look up your client base and identify exactly what they've done in the past. Use it to identify underutilization of space and search for people who might take up the opportunity to book a space maybe at a discount at short notice. Plus you can build a database of prospective bookers who maybe you can buy in data, import it into the system. So it's a very powerful tool in that respect.
There's obviously a cost element to this. These systems aren't necessarily cheap. At the moment, there's a lot of pressure on venues, and particularly on the arts side, where they're facing, £34 million worth of cuts from their grant budgets. Isn't this just the wrong thing to buy at this time?
No, not necessarily. It's really key to tightening up your procedures. Actually, the most expensive thing to any organisation is the human element. There's people that cost money. I wouldn't suggest you get rid of people and replace them with software, but what you do with the software is make more effective use of the people you've got. So, rather than paper shuffling, use the software to generate searches, find where space is being underutilised, cut down the time you spend producing documentation, zapping off the letters and contracts. There's a million and one ways software can work for you and increase your income. A lot is said about cost saving, and really it's about increasing revenue as much as anything. You may not need to save costs if you can increase your revenue.
Yeah, interesting point actually. And also what you're saying there really is that you're making the people you have more productive and therefore making a better contribution to the venue overall, aren't you, really? Yeah. With respect to venues when they're looking, to maybe invest in this kind of software, what should they be looking for?
I think configurability, flexibility is key. Obviously value for money. So if the software can be adapted easily by the user to suit your venue rather than having to keep going back to the software company and saying, can you change this, can you change that, that's key. But I think also, having been on the other side of the fence myself, quality support is absolutely imperative. It's no good if you've got a really good bit of software and you pick up the phone for help and there's no one there, or you don't get a call back for 3 weeks or whatever.
Absolutely, I suppose that is key, isn't it? Because then you're stuck with something that, if it's functioning, the whole, and you've come to rely on this system, it can actually be, quite detrimental to the overall running of the venue. So I suppose support is key.
Absolutely.
Looking to the future, what excites you? With the gadgets that are around now that can take this kind of software forward.
Well, we're just sort of moving into the sort of next phase of portability offered A by the internet and B by the introduction of tablet computing, sort of iPads. The new Microsoft Surface is looking very interesting, and all the sort of spin-offs from that. And it will allow a venue or a meeting organizer working in a venue to carry their venue calendar around with them and have all the information at their fingertips. Is the portable bar available on that week for use in this space? And they can look it up while they're sort of walking around with the customer. I think the future, certainly for us also, is in being able to administer, as an event organizer, being able to administer your own bookings online. Establish availability by accessing the sort of venue's calendar. Even be able to book a space online, and then update information, add delegates to your meeting, or increase the quantity of coffee, or add an overhead projector, anything you need yourself.
That's fascinating, actually. So really, I suppose the sky's the limit on that side. Tim, thanks for talking to us.
Okay, thank you.